Hi, everyone. Welcome to Vincentians Thinking Out Loud. This is the first of our video series, and we're very happy to be doing this together, and we're even more happy to have you join us. I'd like my colleagues now to introduce themselves, and then we'll get back to today's reflection.
Hello, everyone. My name's Kara, and I'm the advocacy assistant this year at CCM. And so I work closely with Matthew, who will introduce himself in a second, on our social justice and advocacy team. And also, I work closely with Catholic Relief Services and covering and learning about their content and international and national efforts.
Hi, I'm Matthew. As Kara already mentioned, I work along with her in the CCM Social Justice Advocacy Team. I focus more on the issues facing national and domestic issues here at Chicago and DePaul as well. And I'm a sophomore at DePaul. And I'm going to pass it back off to Father Dan for him to continue our reflection for today.
Thank you, Matthew and Kara. And I'm Dan Borlick. I'm a priest of the Congregation of the Mission. And we call ourselves Vincentians, but those of us who live and work and labor at DePaul University also call ourselves Vincentians, as do hundreds of thousands, even millions of people worldwide. But here at DePaul, we talk a lot about Vincent de Paul. So famous for his energy, for his virtues, his way of looking at and treating everyone with love and respect. Right outside one of DePaul's big downtown buildings is the beautiful two-story high monument entitled Via Sapientiae. It points the way to DePaul's institutional repository of studies, publications, libraries, classrooms, generations worth of insights and accomplishments. And along with other weary urban travelers, I'll find myself occasionally resting there to admire it. That monument features a bas-relief Vincent de Paul pointing the way to Via Sapientiae, which translates to the way of wisdom, as a roadmap for our life journey. Vincent's way of wisdom pushes us to grow as persons unafraid of today's difficulties and anxious to face tomorrow's dialogues. How? By learning how to see what most of us tend not to see, to think in new ways, rich with wisdom from our many traditions and cultures and religions. And most importantly, by learning how to do all that, these things that we need when facing injustices, poverty, fear, and evil. So both as DePaulians and as members of Catholic campus ministry, we learn to consider tough questions and to welcome new ideas. I like to call this critical reflection, this process. But it's more than that. It's reflecting critically or consciously for a new and fresh insight on a way of being or of acting, a new practice in my life. So, along with colleagues and student team members, we'll be spending a few minutes each week reflecting out loud, thinking out loud with you. We'll call it Vincentians Thinking Out Loud. But we'll start with describing a question, an issue, or a problem, or a habit or a practice that we'd like to look at openly, with fresh eyes and with open hearts and an open mind. So I like to call this our see stage. We perceive things, we take a really good look at it. Then our next step is we're going to draw from values or beliefs that we say that we espouse, that we practice, and we'll make a comparison between those ideals, those things that we cherish, and our actual lived practices, our lived values, our way of living. You can call this, if you'd like, our judge stage. This is when, in our reflection, we're going to be making a comparison and say, this is right on with what I believe, or this is in contrast to what I believe, or even against it. And then finally, we're going to end up, hopefully, with something new, something fresh, an improvement or an adjustment on how we think or how we act towards others, and even as far we can say as what we really now profess to believe. And we're going to call this our action stage or our ACT stage. So I'd like to pass it back on to Matthew for a few more words.
Yeah, as Father Dan was saying, although this week is more of an introduction to what we're going to be doing and planning on doing for our future episodes, we are going to be having weekly episodes each week. It's going to be posted on Facebook where we're going to talk and discuss about a topic, and it's going to be Vincentians Thinking Out Loud. You can expect to see more from Father Dan, Kara, and I in the coming weeks to come, even through when DePaul's not going to be having the school year into winter break. We're still planning on having all of these talks and conversations be going on, and we'd love for you to be able to be there and reflect and learn with us as we go through this together.
Thank you all for coming with us, and we look forward to thinking out loud with you in later episodes.